list.
Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you.
Hi, Nancy. What are you working on?
I'm looking at a website called Quizziz. It's an online tool that lets me create quizzes or practice questions for my students. It's a fun, game-like atmosphere, and it's great for formative assessments.
How much does something like that cost?
Well, it's free. That's the great thing about it.
Is this somewhat like Kahoot?
Yeah, it's real similar to Kahoot. The difference is Kahoot puts the questions on the teacher's screen or smartboard, but with Quizziz, the questions are on the students' screens, and that way they can go at their own pace. And you can even assign it as homework. Quizziz.com, and I'm going to click login, my email address. And when I get in here, I can see there's public, and some of my quizzes I've already done, and I can create my own.
So I want to look for one that somebody else has done.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to start, is just find something that's already out there. I agree.
Well, I'm getting ready to do a lesson on biomes, so let's do a search for biomes and see what's there.
Okay, so I'm going to go to search for quizzes, type in biomes.
Wow, 742. That's great.
You can look on the left and see the activities, and if I look on the right over here, I can see a sample of the questions, which is cool. To preview it without having to really open it. Here's one that's got a graphic with it.
Oh.
So if I want to play this quiz my students, then I can there's a couple of ways I can give it. I can hit play live or homework. For now, let's just go to play live.
Now, it looks like there are a lot of settings down there that need to be done before you can start. So let's take a look at those settings.
You jumble the questions, which I like. I want kids to be able to see the correct answers when they finish.
That's good immediate feedback.
Let's see, there's a leadership board, which makes this really fun. The kids can compete with each other and see who's in the leaderboard. You have a timer, which this is cool because I have the option of turning the timer completely off if I want to. In Kahoot, it gets kind of rushed. People are always kind of racing, and it gets a little chaotic sometimes with the timer. So it's nice you can turn that off. And for one of the favorite things about this makes it a lot of fun. Because you get different memes. If you get a question right, you get this funny meme, and if you get it wrong, you get a different kind of meme.
Notice there's play music. I don't know if I want the music being played or not. That might be too distracting to the students.
Yeah, no problem. We can just flip this switch and turn the music off.
Okay, so you click proceed. Okay, so the students on their own Chromebooks then would just go to join.quizziz.com, and once they get there, then they would type in their name and the code, just like they would in Kahoot.
Yep, that's one way to give them the game.
Okay, I'm going to be the student on this Quizziz, and I have gone to join.quizziz.com, which brings up the website, and then I type in the 6-digit code that the teacher gives me. So the code for this particular one is 593418. Then I click proceed. Okay, now I have to type in a name. You know, students a lot of times will type in funny names. I think you're going to want to tell your students to type in their first name or their username or even their initials, something. I'm just going to type in my name, Karen. And then I click join game. Oh, and it finds an avatar.
And I can see on the teacher screen that you are in my game. Now, if a student did type in some goofy name and you wanted them to put their actual name, if I saw Karen had put something other than Karen, I could go over here and hit the X and take her out and make her re-enter the name.
Now I'm in. We're going to start the game. Student gets a countdown. So the question comes up, tells me which biome is most like. Okay. All right.
The teacher screen, I can see so far there's one right answer, and this is my scoreboard, and right now I've only got one student in here, so I can see Karen's scores. And if I had a whole class full of kids, I would see the leaderboard. I would see all the kids, and I want to look for a lot of green and not a lot of red showing on my screen.
Okay, let me try another question then. Okay, areas defined by their geographical location and ecological similarity are called biomes. Yes.
All right.
Well, I'll make a mistake on this one so we can see
Yeah.
what a mistake question looks like. What type of tree is found in temperate forest? I would say green. Okay, no points. Oh, there's my meme telling me that I got it wrong.
I see a little bit of red on the leaderboard for Karen. Okay, so when we're finished playing this game, I'm going to end the game. Yep, I'm sure. Now, I could play again. I could go and see the questions again. I can export the results. The nice thing about this is I get instant feedback. Now, I have data. If I hit export results, then it will make me a little Excel file. And I can also click on the report section here. Another way to look at the questions and see them in percent accuracy, and it's another quick glance at the data. If I hit the plus sign beside each question, then I can see each individual student's responses for that question. Love the reporting here. And you can even, if you don't have time to go right now, right after you've done the quiz, to see all the results, you can go back later and look at my reports right here for the various quizzes that you do.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I've got things in here I did a month ago, and I can go back and see the results.
Would I create my own quiz in Quizziz?
We just go over to the Create button, and we can give our quiz an image. We'll come back and do that. I like to do that at the end. And I'm going to give the quiz a name. It's on planets. And done. We can create our first question. Say which planet is the largest. So we can just type in our question. Here's where we can adjust the time for that question. We can do anywhere from 5 seconds up to 15 minutes.
Let's give them 10 seconds on that question because that's pretty much just a knowledge-based question.
Yep. Now, I can also add an image to our question. Now, I've already got some images in my drive, so I'm going to upload this from my computer. So if I'm going to use a picture, it's good to go ahead and ahead of time find some pictures.
Then it looks like you just type in your 4 options.
Let's say Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto. And I have to check which one is right. So Jupiter is the largest one. So you can see a little preview of the question over here on the right. My question in, now I can hit new question. And I'm ready to type in another one. So in here I can type in another question. Another cool thing about this that I love, Karen, is I can search other people's quizzes for questions.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And I can cherry pick which questions I want to put in here. So let's just say I type in planets. And here's some other public quizzes. And if I click on one, and then over there on the right, I can see their questions. So, all right, I like this question. What is an inner planet? So I can hit the plus, and it just pops that into my quiz.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that cool? So I don't have to completely reinvent the wheel here. I can add my own, or I can pick others.
Now, do you have to choose all the questions from one particular quiz, or can you choose from multiple quizzes?
From multiple quizzes, which is great. So maybe I like a couple of questions from this first quiz. All right, since I asked about an inner, I'm going to ask about an outer planet. Let's say plus, pop that one in there, and maybe let's look at someone else's quiz. See if I like this one because it's got more pictures. So I'm gonna borrow one of these questions. So the order, if I like that question, I can hit the plus sign and it pops it in there. Now the other thing I want to do is make sure that these questions that I'm borrowing, make sure that you like the question and that their answers are marked correctly.
What if you notice a typographical error in one of the questions? Can you edit it once you bring it into yours?
Yes. Once you get them in there and you want to change up the wording or change up the answers, whatever you want to do, you do have full edit rights once you put it into your own quiz.
Can you show that with question number 4?
Yeah.
And take out all those capital letters?
Yeah. Let me just add one more question here. Let's see. Let's do true false. Okay. And let me just do one other thing too. I see number 2 got kind of blank, so I'm just going to hit that little trash can, and that gets that one out of there. So now I've got 5 questions, and you wanted to change.
Let's go into question number 3.
Number 3. So I will click on that question. I just click. Once I've clicked on it over here, it opens up the question right here, and then I can change that. So let's make that a lowercase a, and
that's great.
And I can also adjust the time. If this person had given them 30 seconds, and if I want to make that a minute, then all I got to do is change the time. So you can borrow questions, borrow whole quizzes, or borrow just parts of quizzes, then go and edit the questions, whatever you want to do to it.
So what happens after you get all of your questions into the quiz?
Okay, so when I'm finished my entire quiz, now I can say finish. And then I can give it a range, so other people may want to borrow from this quiz. And I'm going to hit sciences, maybe physics. Okay, maybe not physics, just other sciences. Finish, create quiz, and maybe astronomy. And then I'm going to say finish and create quiz. And now it's ready to go. Oh, and I do like to add an image to it. This will be the image you see when you first click on the quiz. So if I click on add image, and again, I do have some images saved on my computer, so I'm just going to click on add a quiz image. So it's easy to change your picture. And now I'm going to hit done. And I'm going to hit finish. Finish and create. So now if I look at my quizzes, here's my planets quiz.
Oh, that's great.
So if I click on planets and I hit play live, and I can adjust my settings again.
Click proceed. Because I noticed that there's a share on Google Classroom. How does that part work? Because I love using Google Classroom.
Yes, I do too. I love this feature. Instead of having to give them a code or having to go to a URL, you can just hit share on Google Classroom. This is my favorite feature. I can click on share Google Classroom, and then I just choose which class to give it to. And let's just say I'll give it to this class. And I can say create assignment and go. Rules on here, the Quizziz quiz, I can adjust this if I want to change it to planets, and I can give it a due date. If you want to create a topic for that, you can do all of those things in here like you could in Google Classroom. And then I'm ready to assign.
So that way the students, when they come in and open up their classroom, all they have to do is click the Quizziz link.
Exactly.
After you start the quiz, and they're ready to go. That's a great feature.
You don't have to wait on the teacher to start anything. They don't have to wait on other classmates to join. It's ready to go. All they have to do is click the link in Google Classroom.
One other thing I noticed was you could play it as homework. Explain how the homework works.
I can do the same thing. I'm going to go back. I'm going to cancel this game. I can go back to my planets, and instead of hitting play live, I just click on homework. I can specify when they have to do this. I change this to, this is what they have to do on the 13th or whatever. I can change the date and time. I can choose all my settings again, and then hit proceed just like we did before. And again, I can share on Google Classroom. And you can make it an assignment. and hit go. And I can choose the due dates and times just like I could in Google Classroom.
Now, I like the fact it says the due date for your assignment is in a day. That's good. It lets them know that this is a homework assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Can you watch them in the evening? Let's say you're home and you want to see who's done the assignment. Can you see as that is all brought up on the leaderboard?
Yeah. So I'm going to hit assign. I'm going to close this and have you go into it as my student.
Okay. So this is what it looks like when a teacher assigns a Quizziz as a homework assignment through Share to Classroom. It will show up in Google Classroom, and all the student has to do is click Quizziz. So the student clicks Join Game. You don't have to worry about typing in a class code. It does find an avatar, and then the student clicks the Start button. They get a countdown. And then the quiz begins. Notice at the top there's a bar that shows how much time you have left for answering the question. And then it gives you the rank and the answers as to how they do. Okay, I missed that question. Student side of it, I could click down here, click on questions to see more detail, and it actually shows me the answers, shows me all of the questions, which ones I've answered right and which one I answered wrong, and it gives me what the correct answer of that question is, so that I know better how to study for the quiz or the test that's coming up.
I can see on the teacher's side, as Karen's working on it, as my students are working on it, I can see the accuracy for each question as they're going through this. So it's pretty cool. I can see before the next morning, if I wanted to, any assignments they've done for homework. But I do have to hit the refresh button to kind of see, what they've done since I last hit the refresh button. So if I hit it again, now I can see she got all but one correct.
An absolutely wonderful tool. A little quieter than Kahoot, but also the advantage of this one is you can pull in questions from other quizzes that people have done, and you can also make this as a homework assignment. Great job, Nancy. Thanks for sharing this tool with me.
Well, great job, Karen. I just love this tool, and I hope that teachers will use it. And it's a great thing to have in your arsenal. You got all kinds of formative assessments, but this is a really fun one.
I'm Karen.
I'm Nancy.
And I hope that you've enjoyed this video on how to use Quizziz.
And if you have any questions, just see your building dart. Thank you.
Thanks.